In 2001, nobody knew their names. Not the bald guy, not the undercover cop, not the street racer with the red hair. They were just a group of unknown actors in a risky street racing movie that almost didn't look like a franchise at all. Fast forward 25 years. One became one of the biggest action stars on the planet. One became a global box office legend. One was taken from us in a tragedy that shook the world. And others? Their journeys went in directions no one expected. Today, we're going back to 2001, and you won't believe how much they've changed. After watching this video, I would love you to tell me which actor or actress changed the most in the comment section. Now, let's begin. This is Fast and Furious, 2001. Then versus now. 1. Vin Diesel as Dominic Toretto. Vin Diesel was the heartbeat of this movie. The bald, a muscle-bound street king with a code. In 2001, Diesel was 33 years old and still fighting for his breakthrough after Pitch Black and a memorable turn in Saving Private Ryan. He'd been rejected for roles, told he didn't fit the mold, but director Rob Cohen saw something raw and magnetic. Dominic Toretto wasn't just a character. It became Diesel's identity. The role launched one of the most profitable franchises in cinema history, banking over $7 billion worldwide. But here's the twist. Diesel almost didn't do it. He turned down the sequel, walking away to pursue other projects like XXX. That gamble could have ended his connection to the family forever. Instead, he came back for Fast and Furious in 2009, reclaimed his throne, and never let go. In 2026, Vin Diesel is 58 years old and still grinding. Fast X. Part 2 is set for a 2027 release, with Diesel not only starring, but producing the franchise's grand finale. He's also developing Riddick, Furia, returning to his sci-fi roots, and writing the screenplay for Rock'em Sock'em Robots, a Mattel action film. Diesel built an empire on loyalty, family, and quarter-mile races, and he's not slowing down. 2. Paul Walker as Brian O'Connor. Paul Walker was the blue-eyed California surfer who became the soul of the franchise. At 27, Walker had done teen movies and TV work, but nothing prepared him for Brian O'Connor, the undercover cop torn between duty and brotherhood. Walker brought vulnerability to a testosterone-fueled world, and audiences connected. He wasn't the toughest guy on screen, but he was the most human. The Fast franchise made him a household name, and he returned for 6 sequels, each one deeper into the heart of the story. Walker loved cars in real life, but he loved people more. He co-founded Reach Out Worldwide, a disaster relief charity, and spent his downtime helping strangers without cameras rolling. On November 30th, 2013, Paul Walker died in a car crash in Santa Clarita, California, at just 40 years old. He was attending a charity event for his own foundation when tragedy struck. The world stopped. His co-stars were devastated. Vin Diesel, his on-screen brother, delivered a eulogy that felt like losing family. Furious 7 was incomplete, so Walker's brothers, Cody and Caleb, stepped in as stand-ins, and Weta Digital recreated his likeness with heartbreaking precision. The film ended with the song "See You Again" by Wiz Khalifa, a tribute that became one of the most streamed songs in history. In 2026, Paul Walker's legacy endures. His daughter, Meadow Walker, now 27, carries his torch through the Paul Walker Foundation, championing ocean conservation and marine science. Vin Diesel walked Meadow down the aisle at her wedding. The franchise continues to honor him. Archive footage appeared in Fast X, and his character, Brian, is set to return in Fast X Part 2. 12 years gone, but never forgotten. 3. Michelle Rodriguez as Letty Ortiz. Michelle Rodriguez was 22 years old and pure fire. Fresh off her breakout in Girl Fight, Rodriguez played Letty, Dom's ride-or-die girlfriend, mechanic, and street racer who could throw a punch as hard as any man on screen. In 2001, seeing a Latina woman in a leading action role, holding her own without being sexualized, was groundbreaking. Rodriguez didn't audition to be the love interest. She auditioned to be a fighter. After the first film, she didn't return for the early sequels, reportedly frustrated with the limited scope of her character. She came back for Fast and Furious in 2009 and never looked back, becoming one of the franchise's most enduring figures. Rodriguez also starred in Resident Evil, Avatar, and Battle Los Angeles, building a resume of tough-as-nails roles that redefined what women could do in action cinema. In 2026, Michelle Rodriguez is 47 years old and still a force. She's preparing for Fast X Part 2, marking her 11th appearance as Letty across the franchise. Her net worth sits around $25 to $30 million, built on decades of action dominance. Rodriguez has become an advocate for diversity and women's representation in Hollywood, using her platform to push for change. She's also rumored to be developing her own projects as a producer. Letty Ortiz was the blueprint for modern action heroines, and Rodriguez is still writing the rules. 4. Jordana Brewster as Mia Toretto. Jordana Brewster was 20 years old, fresh out of Yale's drama program, and cast as Mia, Dom's younger sister and Brian's love interest. In 2001, Brewster was raven-haired elegance in a world of grease and nitrous oxide. She brought warmth and intelligence to Mia, the moral center who reminded everyone what they were fighting for. Interestingly, Brewster didn't even have a driver's license when filming began. She learned to drive during production. After the first film, Brewster stepped away for a few years, taking roles in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre prequel and the TV reboot of Dallas. She returned for Fast and Furious in 2009 and became a franchise mainstay, appearing in 7 sequels and grounding the story with family authenticity. Brewster's real-life connection to the cast deepened after Paul Walker's death. Vin Diesel became a surrogate father figure in her life. In 2026, Jordana Brewster is 45 years old and evolving. She recently signed with Anonymous Content for new representation, signaling a career shift. She's set to star in Hard Eyes, a horror romance releasing in February 2026, and will return for Fast X Part 2 in 2027. Brewster has also opened up about motherhood and personal growth in interviews, showing a maturity that mirrors Mia's evolution. She divorced producer Andrew Form in 2020 and remarried businessman Mason Morfitt in 2022. From Yale grad to action royalty, Brewster's journey has been one of quiet grace and enduring loyalty.